Hello guys, welcome back to another video. In this video I want to talk about something very simple yet neglected by most, and that is having a ritual every time you come into the gym and warming up for the movements that you'll be doing on the gym. I chose this day to show my warm up because I'm doing the squats, bench press and the deadlifts, just because everybody follows me for powerlifting and they would probably want to see how I warm up for the power lifts. But regardless of what lifts I have on the particular day, first thing I do every time I come into the gym is do some sort of a light cardio. That's mostly just walking in the treadmill. I also do the rower once in a while, but then it's mostly just the treadmill. The biggest reason why we warm up is to bring our core temperature up, as it primes your body and your muscles for the work you'll be doing in the workout. Once this is done, I jump into the foam roller and just roll my lower back, lats, glutes and quads, as these are the muscle group that's mostly worked and it's mostly sore. There are a lot of mixed opinions about how effective the foam roller is or how useless it is. Some guys swear by it and some say it's pretty much useless, as the foam roller loosens the muscle and decreases force production, which is a very crucial part of strength training. I personally am in the middle of both the extremes. I think some foam rolling followed by a good dynamic warm up is the best way to warm up. That's obviously if you've got enough time to warm up this thoroughly, or else progressing in the exercises you'll be doing from a very lightweight is obviously the best way to warm up. Given the fact you have all the time in the world and you want to have the best possible warm-up session, these dynamic movements are definitely worth your time. I started off with glute bridges on the floor with hip circle on my knees, holding at the top for about 2 seconds for 12 reps. This is also a very good drill if you don't feel your glutes whenever you're squatting or deadlifting. Just did one set there and moved on to this other exercise. I believe it's called the side calm shell. The main goal here is to keep your body in a straight line while only externally rotating at your hips with the hip circle. This activates the muscle called the glute medius. It's the muscle on the side of your hip which is responsible for how your knees track with your toes, and also fixes the very common knee caving in during the squat. This other exercise is called the monster walk. It also activates the same muscle group but then in a more dynamic fashion. I did all the exercises one set each of about 10 to 12 reps depending on how I was feeling. Once activation was done, I moved into more active range of motion stretching, getting into deeper positions every single rep, as there is a possibility that I go into these ranges of motion when I'm squatting or deadlifting. This one's called a knee hug with a lateral lunge. I did, I believe, 5 on each side. Just more dynamic stretching after that. This one's called the forward lunge with the world's greatest stretch. 5 or 6 on each side again. The main point of this is to get into all the possible ranges of motion that my joints might have to go during the workout. I just don't want to spend too much time just warming up, so I just do one set of these exercises, as I don't have any injuries I'm currently dealing with, or else the warm up would be more specific towards the injuries I have, mostly with just corrective exercises and foam rolling some parts more than the others. This is just a general warm up which I believe everybody should be doing, as it doesn't take more than 5 or 10 minutes after the cardio. Did leg swings in all directions about 10 to 15 reps, then I finally moved on to warming up my upper body. Did some band pass throughs and band pull aparts on all directions, and that's basically all I ever do for the upper body. Again, given the fact that I'm completely healthy and I don't have to do corrective movement patterns at the moment. Now moving on to the most important part of any workout routine is movement specific warm-ups. So I had squats this day, so I started off with the empty barbell. This is again where everyone gets it wrong, by directly diving into their first working heavy set. I would skip all the previous warm-up but definitely not this one, as this is the only specific warm-up that you can possibly do. I did a few reps with just the barbell, then I added 20 on each side, 60 kilos. Did that for a couple of reps. I have a set number of sets and reps I do while I warm up, but then what I'd recommend you to is go according to feel and have your own ritual on how you do your warm-ups before you get into your first working set. After the 60s I did hundreds for 5 reps, but I don't treat it like 100, I treat it like I would do a 1 rep max. So all my reps are controlled, braced and executed the exact way that I would do for a 1 rep max. So it's basically a lot of sets and reps with lighter weights before I get into my first set. After the 130 kgs for a few reps, I moved on to my last warm-up set where I did 160 kgs for 3 reps. I then slowly add equipments that I use for my heavier lifts. So here I've added my wrist straps. Depending on how I feel, I put on knee sleeves and belt as well. We're finally doing my first working set of 190 kgs for 3 reps. Did it for 6 sets after this set, as I'm finally transitioning into a strength building block, basically meaning the total volume of the workouts will go down while the intensity, the load on the bar will slowly build up. As it's a bridge phase between two blocks and it's kind of like a taper, the workouts weren't very hard yesterday. Moved quite easily through these reps, as you can see it in the video. Once 6 sets of squats were done, I moved on to doing some bench presses. My coach has finally given me the green flag to go a bit wider on the grip, slowly building to the maximum legal width of 81 centimeters, basically meaning index finger on the rings. Going wider definitely removes a lot of range of motion, which is better for the leverages, but that doesn't mean everybody should be doing it. You need to have the muscles for the wider joint space that the wide grip creates, or else it's just a road to injury. So I did 92.5 kgs for 6 sets of 3 reps again. It was very easy, but then we're moving into a wide grip, so slowly adapting to it. And finally had deadlifts where I did 205 kgs for 5 sets of 3 reps. Having a lot of fun training deadlifts with a lot of volume again, like I said in my previous video. And these weights were also moving really easily, but then we have to build up, can't always be pushing really hard. I have a few more clips to play, and that's basically all I did on my squats, bench press and deadlift day yesterday. So the main point of this video was to remind you guys to not miss warming up, as it will surely take you a very long way in fitness and strength and weightlifting in general. And always remember, no matter how strong you get, your warm-up always starts at an empty barbell. Treat lightweight like it's heavy, then you can finally treat heavyweight like it's light. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video.